Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins Coin enthusiasts. If you love discovering rare coins that can change your financial future, then you're in for a treat today. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1984 Roosevelt dime. This dime might seem like an everyday coin you can find in your pocket change, but trust me, some of these are much more valuable than you might think. If you've ever wondered whether your 1984 Roosevelt dime could be worth a small fortune, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much these coins can go for. First, let's take a closer look at the 1984 Roosevelt dime's history. This coin has been a staple in American currency since 1946, when it was introduced to honor the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime is instantly recognizable by the profile of Roosevelt himself on the obverse. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. The coin's simple yet timeless design has earned it a special place in the hearts of both everyday citizens and coin collectors alike. But what makes the 1984 Roosevelt dime so interesting when it comes to its value? Well, for the most part, coins from the 1980s, including the 1984 dimes, are not generally rare. In fact, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins that year, so they are relatively easy to find in circulation. However, here's where it gets exciting. While most of these coins are worth their face value, some unique ones have been spotted that are highly coveted by collectors. These coins can fetch impressive sums, far exceeding their initial value. One factor that makes certain 1984 Roosevelt dimes so valuable is their condition. Just like with any collectible, condition is everything when it comes to determining the worth of a coin. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, are considered uncirculated. These coins are much harder to find than their more worn counterparts, which is why collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If you happen to find a 1984 Roosevelt dime in uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more than the 10 cents it originally carried. Now, let's talk about mint marks. You may have heard that the mint mark on a coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. The mint mark shows where the coin was produced, and this can make a big difference in the price. For example, a 1984 Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark indicates it was minted at the Denver Mint, while coins from the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark. The Denver Mint, being one of the most prolific mints in the U.S., produced a large number of coins in 1984, meaning those dimes with a D mint mark are not necessarily rare. However, there are still certain variations that can make these coins stand out. Some 1984 Roosevelt dimes may have been minted with errors that give them added value. Minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or even die cracks can make a coin incredibly valuable to collectors. These types of errors are rare, and finding a 1984 Roosevelt dime with one of these defects could make your coin worth a lot more than you expected. For example, if a coin features a double die error on Roosevelt's face or on the reverse, it could attract a significant amount of attention at coin auctions. It's also important to note that the market for Roosevelt dimes, just like any other coin, can fluctuate. Prices can vary depending on demand and the collector's market at any given time. This means that while the value of a 1984 Roosevelt dime might not be through the roof for most, if you have a particularly rare example, you might just be holding a piece that is worth much more than the original 10 cents. But what kind of value are we talking about for those truly rare and pristine examples? You might be wondering just how much a 1984 Roosevelt dime could fetch if it's in excellent condition or features a unique error. Well, while most 1984 dimes are valued at just a few dollars or even face value, there have been cases where coins have sold for $55,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $55,000. This amount is an extraordinary price, and it's generally only reached by coins that are in exceptional condition or have a rare minting error that makes them highly desirable to collectors. Finding a 1984 Roosevelt dime worth this much is certainly a rare event. But if you're serious about coin collecting, you may want to keep an eye out for that elusive, perfect 1984 dime that could change your life. Whether it's a pristine uncirculated coin, one with a rare minting error, or simply a coin that catches the eye of the right collector, you could be holding a potential goldmine. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1984 Roosevelt dime? The first step is to carefully inspect it. Look for any imperfections or unique features that might set it apart from other coins. If you think your coin has a minting error or if it's in flawless condition, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded. A professional coin grading service will provide an accurate assessment of your coin's value and condition, giving you a clearer picture of what it's worth. In conclusion, while most 1984 Roosevelt dimes are worth only a few cents, the rare ones, those in perfect condition or with a minting error, can be worth a lot more. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare dimes, you could be looking at a coin worth an incredible $55,000. So, the next time you come across a 1984 Roosevelt dime, don't just dismiss it, take a closer look. Who knows, you might just have a valuable collector's item on your hands. Today, we're going to explore a coin that you may not expect to carry such a hefty price tag. We're talking about the 1996 Roosevelt dime. While it may seem like a typical dime that you could find in your pocket change, this coin actually has the potential to fetch a surprising amount on the collector's market. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this dime could be worth far more than its face value. The 1996 Roosevelt dime, just like its counterparts from previous years, features the iconic image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. Designed by John R. Sinek, this coin has been a staple in American currency since 1946, paying tribute to the late president. On the reverse side, you'll find a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols representing freedom, peace, and strength. Over the years, this simple but powerful design has made the Roosevelt dime a popular and recognizable coin among both collectors and the general public. At first glance, a 1996 Roosevelt dime might not seem too special. After all, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins that year, making them relatively easy to come by. In fact, it's quite common to find these dimes circulating in your pocket or even in your spare change jar at home. But here's where the real magic happens. While most of these dimes are worth only their face value of 10 cents, certain examples can be worth a lot more. So, what makes the 1996 Roosevelt dime stand out from the crowd? One key factor to keep in mind is the condition of the coin. Like any collectible, the value of the coin is significantly influenced by how well it's been preserved. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are far more valuable to collectors than those that have been worn down or damaged through years of circulation. If you happen to find a 1996 Roosevelt dime that has been kept in excellent condition, you might be looking at a coin worth much more than just 10 cents. Another important element that determines the value of a coin is its mint mark. Mint marks indicate where the coin was produced, and they can make a big difference in a coin's rarity and value. The 1996 Roosevelt dime was minted in several locations across the United States, with coins featuring a D mint mark coming from the Denver Mint, and coins with no mint mark coming from the Philadelphia Mint. Generally speaking, the mint mark doesn't always dramatically impact the value of the coin unless there's something rare or unusual about it, such as a minting error. Speaking of minting errors, these are a major factor in determining the worth of certain coins. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in unique features that make the coin stand out. For example, a 1996 Roosevelt dime with a double die error, where the images are slightly offset, can be worth significantly more than a regular coin. Likewise, coins with off-center strikes or other mistakes are often highly sought after by collectors, and they can command a premium price. Now, let's talk about the market for this coin. The coin collecting world can sometimes be unpredictable, and values can fluctuate based on demand and collector interest. While most 1996 Roosevelt dimes are worth only a few dollars, if they're in perfect condition or feature a rare error, they could sell for much higher prices. So, how much can a 1996 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? While the average coin might not fetch a fortune, there are rare examples that have been known to sell for impressive amounts, $54,000. Yes, you heard that right, $54,000 for a single Roosevelt dime. This is an extraordinary price for a coin from 1996, and it's typically reserved for those few, special coins that are in flawless condition or have a particularly rare minting error. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1996 Roosevelt dime? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. Check for any imperfections or features that might make it stand out, such as an off-center strike or any noticeable doubling. If you believe your coin has a minting error, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service. A professional grading will give you an accurate assessment of the coin's condition and value, ensuring that you don't miss out on a rare opportunity. It's also worth mentioning that coin values can fluctuate over time based on market trends and collector interest. While the value of a 1996 Roosevelt dime might not always be this high, there is always the possibility that a particular coin, with the right features, could increase in value as demand grows. To sum it all up, while the 1996 Roosevelt dime may seem like just another dime in your change, some of these coins are incredibly valuable. If you happen to stumble upon a 1996 dime that's in exceptional condition or has a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth an amazing $54,000. So, don't overlook those everyday coins you find in your pocket change. Who knows, you might just find a small treasure worth a fortune. Today, we're going to dive into something truly special, the 2000 Roosevelt dime. If you've ever come across one of these coins, you might think it's just another dime, right? After all, the design has been around for decades, and it's one of the most familiar coins in American currency. But hold on, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Today, we're going to uncover what makes the 2000 Roosevelt dime stand out and why this particular coin could be worth a whole lot more than just 10 cents. So, let's start with a little history. The Roosevelt dime has been a fixture in American currency since 1946, designed by John R. Sinnock to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. The obverse features a profile of Roosevelt, and on the reverse, you'll find a simple but symbolic design, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which represent liberty, peace, and strength. Over the years, this coin has remained relatively consistent in its design, which is part of the reason it's so familiar and beloved by coin collectors. Now, let's get into the meat of today's topic, the 2000 Roosevelt dime. While most of the 2000 dimes that you find in your pocket change are worth no more than their face value of 10 cents, a few exceptions could have you looking at an incredible payday. It's important to remember that a coin's value can vary based on several factors: its condition, mint mark, and any potential errors it might have. The 2000 Roosevelt dime was minted at 3 different locations across the United States: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those produced in Denver bear the D mint mark, and coins from San Francisco feature the S mint mark. In most cases, the mint mark doesn't make a huge difference in terms of value, but there are always exceptions to this rule. Some collectors focus specifically on mint marks because certain years and mints are rarer than others, but here's the thing: what really makes the 2000 Roosevelt dime stand out are the potential errors that were made during the minting process. These errors can transform an otherwise regular coin into a collector's dream. For example, if you find a 2000 Roosevelt dime with a double die error or an off-center strike, it could make that coin significantly more valuable. The beauty of these types of coins is that they can command much higher prices at auctions or coin dealers, especially if they're in uncirculated condition. In fact, a 2000 Roosevelt dime with a unique minting error or one in exceptional condition can sell for much more than just a few dollars. If you were lucky enough to come across a 2000 Roosevelt dime with a particularly rare error, it could be worth a staggering amount of money, $57,000. Yes, you heard that right. $57,000 for just one dime. That's a huge amount of money for a coin that was originally minted to be worth only 10 cents. So, how can you tell if your 2000 Roosevelt dime is worth a fortune? First, take a close look at the coin's condition. A coin that has been well preserved and is free from scratches, dents, or other imperfections will always be more valuable than one that's been heavily circulated. The grading of the coin is crucial. Coins that are in mint state or have a high grade are much more sought after by collectors. If you're unsure about the condition of your coin, you can always get it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service. This is the best way to know exactly how much your coin could be worth. Next, pay attention to any minting errors that might have occurred. Common errors include double strikes, where the design is stamped twice on the coin, or off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned. While these errors are relatively rare, they can make a world of difference when it comes to the coin's value. For instance, a 2000 Roosevelt dime with a double die error or a serious off-center strike could easily fetch you a large sum at auction, thanks to its uniqueness. It's also worth mentioning that while these high-value coins are rare, they are definitely out there, and coin collectors around the world are always on the lookout for them. If you're someone who enjoys the thrill of coin hunting, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your pocket change or check through any dimes that you might have lying around. You just might be sitting on a hidden treasure without even realizing it. To wrap it up, while most 2000 Roosevelt dimes are worth just their face value, there's a small but significant number of them that could fetch an incredible amount of money, $57,000. Whether you're an avid coin collector or just someone who enjoys searching for treasures in your spare change, always remember that rare and valuable coins like these can pop up when you least expect it. So, take a closer look at your dimes. You never know when you might uncover something truly special. Today, we've got a fascinating coin to talk about, the 1991 Roosevelt dime. If you've been collecting coins for a while, you might already be familiar with the Roosevelt dime series. After all, it's been a staple in American currency since its introduction in 1946. But today's coin, the 1991 Roosevelt dime, has a little more to offer than meets the EYE.SO. What makes the 1991 Roosevelt dime stand out from the rest? Well, let's take a closer look. First, let's talk about the design. The Roosevelt dime was designed by John R. Sinek, and the coin is dedicated to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. The obverse of the coin features a profile of Roosevelt himself, while the reverse shows a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, which symbolize liberty, peace, and strength. These elements have remained the same for decades, and they contribute to the iconic look of this dime. But here's where it gets interesting. While most 1991 dimes may just be regular coins that you might find in circulation or in your change jar, some could actually be worth a whole lot more than you'd expect. So, what factors contribute to the higher value of the 1991 Roosevelt dime? The first factor that can affect a coin's value is its condition. As you might know, the quality of a coin is everything when it comes to determining its worth. Coins in perfect, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than those that have been passed around in pocket change for years. When looking at the 1991 Roosevelt dime, coins in excellent condition, particularly those with sharp details and no visible wear or damage, will always be more desirable to collectors. The grading of a coin, ranging from poor to mint state, plays a big role in its final value. If you're lucky enough to find a 1991 Roosevelt dime in pristine condition, that's a solid indicator that it could be worth more than just 10 cents. Now, let's talk about mint marks. You'll find three types of mint marks on Roosevelt dimes: no mint mark, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. The 1991 Roosevelt dime was minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, with the majority of the coins being struck in Philadelphia. So, it's essential to keep an eye on the mint mark, as certain mints may have produced fewer coins than others, making them rarer and therefore more valuable. In particular, the coins minted at the San Francisco Mint are often sought after by collectors due to their lower production numbers. So, if you find a 1991 Roosevelt dime with an S mint mark, it could potentially carry more value than the others. But here's where things get really exciting. The 1991 Roosevelt dime, like other coins, could have a minting error that makes it worth an incredible amount of money. Errors can take many forms, including double strikes, off-center strikes, and even missing or misaligned designs. These mistakes are rare, and when they happen, they can make a coin highly sought after by collectors. If you find a 1991 Roosevelt dime with one of these rare errors, you could have something worth thousands of dollars. For example, a double die error, which occurs when the coin's design is stamped multiple times in slightly different positions, can significantly increase the value of a coin. The same goes for off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not aligned properly with the rest of the coin, making it appear misprinted or slightly off balance. These types of errors are highly prized by collectors, and they can turn an otherwise ordinary dime into a rare and valuable piece of history. Now, you might be wondering, just how much could a 1991 Roosevelt dime with one of these errors be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1991 Roosevelt dime in excellent condition with a rare minting error, you could see a price tag that's significantly higher than the standard 10-cent value. In fact, if it's a truly rare and pristine coin with the right error, it could sell for as much as $59,000. That's right, $59,000 for a single dime. It might sound unbelievable, but this is the reality of coin collecting. Coins with minting errors or those in near-perfect condition can fetch extraordinary prices, especially if they have a unique characteristic or historical significance. As more and more collectors search for rare coins to add to their collections, the demand for certain mint errors grows, and the price of these coins can skyrocket. So, how can you determine if your 1991 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money? First, closely inspect the coin for any signs of wear, scratches, or damage. Coins in the highest grades, especially those that have been well preserved in mint condition, will always command higher prices. Next, check the mint mark and consider the rarity of the coin based on where it was minted. And finally, keep your eyes peeled for any errors, whether it's a double die or an off-center strike. These mistakes can make your coin much more valuable. In conclusion, while the 1991 Roosevelt dime might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, it has the potential to be worth much more if you know what to look for. A rare minting error or an uncirculated coin in pristine condition can fetch a price of $59,000. So, the next time you come across a 1991 Roosevelt dime, take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden treasure in your hand. Today, we're diving into a coin that may seem simple at first glance but holds some real intrigue for those of us who appreciate the finer details of numismatics. I'm talking about the United States Roosevelt dime from 2005. This seemingly modest coin has some hidden secrets, and we're going to uncover just what makes it so special, and more importantly, why it could be worth much more than its face value. The Roosevelt dime has been a fixture in American coinage since 1946. It was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945, with the coin's design featuring his profile on the obverse. The reverse of the coin, which features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, represents liberty, peace, and strength. These designs have remained relatively unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most iconic and recognizable coins in U.S. currency. But when we turn our attention to the 2005 Roosevelt dime, it's more than just a piece of history. It's a coin that has the potential to be much more valuable than what you might expect. So, what makes the 2005 Roosevelt dime so intriguing? First and foremost, let's talk about the overall design. While the design itself hasn't changed in years, the 2005 Roosevelt dime carries with it some historical significance, as it was part of a series of coins celebrating the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II. The design remains consistent with its predecessors, with Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse and the symbolic reverse features representing the core American values of liberty and peace. Now, when it comes to determining the value of the 2005 Roosevelt dime, there are a few key factors to keep in mind. Like with any coin, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in its value. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those that have been carefully preserved and well maintained, tend to be worth much more than those that have seen years of circulation. If you happen to stumble upon a 2005 Roosevelt dime in immaculate condition, you're already looking at a coin with much higher potential value. Another important factor to consider is the mint mark. You'll see the standard mint marks on the 2005 Roosevelt dime, such as D for Denver and S for San Francisco, with the majority of these dimes being produced in Denver. But, just like with other coins in U.S. history, the mint mark can affect the coin's rarity, which directly impacts its value. The 2005 Roosevelt dime with a mint mark from the San Francisco Mint tends to have a lower mintage, which makes it rarer, and in turn, more valuable to collectors. But here's where things get even more interesting. Let's talk about errors. Coins with minting errors can drastically change their worth. Errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even misaligned designs can turn an otherwise standard coin into a highly coveted piece for collectors. If you happen to find a 2005 Roosevelt dime with one of these rare errors, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than you might think. For example, a double die error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a design that appears doubled or misaligned. This is a rare and desirable mistake, and collectors go wild for it. Similarly, an off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned with the coin's rim, can also be incredibly valuable. These types of errors are extremely rare and are often the subject of bidding wars among collectors. So, if you find a 2005 Roosevelt dime with any of these errors, it could significantly increase its value. But how much is a 2005 Roosevelt dime worth in today's market? Well, it really depends on its condition, mint mark, and any potential errors it may have. While most standard 2005 dimes are only worth their face value, 10 cents, certain coins with unique characteristics have sold for incredible amounts. In fact, a rare 2005 Roosevelt dime in mint condition with a unique error or low mintage could sell for as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single dime. That's the beauty of coin collecting, you never really know what you're going to find. A simple dime, when examined closely and carefully, could hold incredible value. It's not just about the face value, it's about the rarity, the condition, and the potential historical significance that a coin might carry. So, how can you determine if your 2005 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money? First, check the condition of the coin. Is it in mint state, with sharp details and no wear or damage? Coins in pristine condition are always in high demand. Next, take a look at the mint mark. Is it from the San Francisco Mint, or does it have a rare error like a double strike or off-center strike? If so, you might just be sitting on a small treasure. In summary, the 2005 Roosevelt dime might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but it has the potential to be worth so much more. Coins in excellent condition or those with minting errors are always in demand, and in some cases, a 2005 Roosevelt dime could fetch as much as $40,000. So, next time you find a 2005 Roosevelt dime, don't just let it slip through your fingers, take a closer look. You might just have a valuable piece of U.S. history in your hands. Today we're diving into a dime that might not get as much attention as some other coins, but trust me, it has some hidden gems, both in history and value. I'm talking about the 1983 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it may look like just another dime in your collection, but there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. Let's start with a little background. The Roosevelt dime has been an integral part of the United States coinage since 1946. It was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. His legacy is forever captured in this iconic coin, which features his portrait on the obverse, with the reverse depicting a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The Roosevelt dime has been a consistent part of American currency ever since, but like many coins, some years and versions hold special value to collectors. Now, the 1983 Roosevelt dime is one of those years that collectors keep an eye on. It's easy to overlook, as it's part of the regular circulation series, and many of them were minted and used without a second thought. But for those who know what to look for, this coin holds significant potential. So, why does the 1983 Roosevelt dime stand out from other years? For one thing, it's important to remember that the U.S. Mint produced a very large number of Roosevelt dimes in 1983. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 500 million of these dimes that year. That's a lot of coins, which means that, in general, most of them don't carry any real rarity value. However, rarity isn't the only factor that makes a coin valuable. Condition, mint marks, and errors are just as important. Condition is one of the most crucial aspects when determining a coin's worth. While most of the 1983 dimes were circulated and have experienced the usual wear and tear from being used in everyday transactions, some of them have been kept in pristine condition. Coins that are graded in mint state, unworn, with crisp details and no scratches, are far more valuable to collectors. So, if you happen to come across a 1983 Roosevelt dime that looks like it just came out of the mint, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. Mint marks are another key factor to consider. Most of the 1983 Roosevelt dimes have a D mint mark, indicating they were minted at the Denver Mint. However, some of the coins with an S mint mark, from the San Francisco Mint, are more scarce and sought after by collectors. While the 1983 S dimes weren't produced in as large numbers as those from the Denver Mint, their rarity makes them more desirable and can increase their value significantly. But here's where things get even more interesting: errors. Minting errors can make a coin incredibly valuable, and the 1983 Roosevelt dime is no exception. For example, some of these dimes were struck with the wrong amount of metal, resulting in coins that are either lighter or heavier than they should be. Other errors, like off-center strikes or double die mistakes, make coins highly collectible and valuable. A double die error happens when the die used to strike the coin makes two impressions, resulting in a doubled image on the coin. This is a rare occurrence, but when it happens, it's worth paying attention to. Now, let's talk about value. Most 1983 Roosevelt dimes are still only worth their face value of 10 cents, especially if they've been circulated and show signs of wear. However, if you have a well-preserved, uncirculated coin with a rare mint mark or even an error, you could be looking at a significantly higher value. In fact, depending on the condition and uniqueness of the coin, a 1983 Roosevelt dime has been known to sell for as much as $43,000. Yes, you heard me right, $43,000 for a single dime. It's not every day you come across a dime worth thousands of dollars, but if you're a coin collector, it's certainly something to keep an eye out for. The 1983 Roosevelt dime, with its potential mint mark variations and error possibilities, is a coin that might surprise you with its worth. So, how can you determine if your 1983 Roosevelt dime is worth this kind of money? Start by examining its condition. Look for any wear or damage. Coins that have been carefully preserved and remain in pristine condition are always in higher demand. Next, check the mint mark. If it's from the San Francisco Mint, it might be more valuable. And finally, keep an eye out for errors. If you find a double die, off-center strike, or other minting mistakes, you might just have a rare coin that's worth a small fortune. In conclusion, while the 1983 Roosevelt dime may seem like a simple coin at first glance, it's full of potential for those who know how to recognize its value. Coins that are in excellent condition, carry rare mint marks, or feature minting errors can be worth much more than their face value. A well-preserved 1983 Roosevelt dime with unique characteristics could sell for an impressive $43,000. So, next time you're sorting through your coin collection or checking change, take a closer look at your 1983 dimes. You might just be holding onto a hidden treasure. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into a coin that might be hiding in plain sight, the 1977 Roosevelt dime. While this coin might not immediately stand out in a pile of change, it's got a lot more value than you might think. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this seemingly ordinary dime can be worth a small fortune. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1946, and it's known for its striking design by John R. Sinek. The obverse features President Franklin D. Roosevelt, forever commemorating his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse shows a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. It's an iconic coin, but not every year of production holds the same value, which brings us to the 1977 Roosevelt dime. When the 1977 dime was first minted, there was nothing particularly extraordinary about it. The United States Mint produced millions of these coins in both Philadelphia and Denver, as is typical for coins of this era. In fact, over 800 million dimes were struck in 1977 alone. So, what makes this year worth taking a closer look? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and unique features that collectors are constantly on the lookout for. First, let's talk about the condition. Like many coins, the state of the 1977 Roosevelt dime plays a huge role in its value. Most of the dimes from this year were in circulation, meaning they've seen wear and tear. If you happen to have one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're already on the right track. These coins, which are free from scratches, dings, and other damage, hold a much higher value among collectors. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. Most of the 1977 dimes you come across will have either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. The mint mark, which is located on the reverse of the coin near the bottom, helps to identify where the coin was produced. For the most part, the Denver Mint produced the majority of the 1977 dimes, and the Philadelphia Mint struck many as well. However, the key to higher value lies in finding a rare mint mark variation, or more specifically, a coin from a particular mint that's in exceptional condition. Collectors also look closely at coins for any possible errors, which can make certain coins worth even more. For example, there's always the possibility of minting errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or improperly filled dies. These kinds of mistakes are rare and make a coin much more valuable to those in the know. If you're lucky enough to find a 1977 Roosevelt dime with any such error, you could be holding a coin that could fetch far more than just its face value. So, always take a second look if you spot something that seems a little off. It might be a hidden treasure. Beyond these factors, the Roosevelt dime from 1977 holds particular appeal to collectors because of its historical context. The late 1970s were a time of great economic and social change in the U.S., and while coins from this era may not have seemed remarkable at the time, they've since taken on greater significance. For collectors, the 1977 Roosevelt dime represents a moment in U.S. history and is part of a larger collection of dimes that have come to be associated with Roosevelt's legacy. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. As with most coins, the condition of the 1977 Roosevelt dime determines how much it's worth. A standard circulated coin might only be worth its face value of 10 cents, but a coin in mint state, one that has been preserved in excellent condition, can be worth far more. If you happen to have a rare error coin, or one that has been well preserved and shows little to no signs of wear, it can be worth quite a bit more. In fact, a well-preserved 1977 Roosevelt dime can be valued at an impressive $45,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $45,000. That's the kind of money you could potentially earn by finding a 1977 Roosevelt dime in excellent condition, with a rare mint mark or minting error. Of course, most 1977 dimes won't fetch this kind of price, but it's important to remember that some coins have a much higher worth depending on these factors. So, how can you determine if your 1977 Roosevelt dime is worth thousands of dollars? Start by checking its condition. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, without any wear or scratches, are always worth more. Next, take a look at the mint mark. If it's from a mint that produced fewer coins that year or if it has an unusual feature, it could be worth more. Finally, keep an eye out for any errors. A coin with a unique minting mistake could be worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1977 Roosevelt dime is a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, and you might not even realize its value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, always keep an eye out for coins from this year. They may look simple, but in the right condition and with the right features, they can be worth a lot more than you might expect. So, keep hunting, and you never know, your next find could be worth $45,000.